terrible wave. Alexis sat frozen in the taxi, unable to look away. The boys made war, a tide of fists and screams and blood. And their faces. She would never forget their faces. Without thinking, she rolled down her window and beat on the side of the car. "Stop it! Stop it!" she began to scream. Unbelievably, the tide did pause, and then it shifted. It shifted in her direction. All the boys, the ones from the building, and the others who had come, moved slowly toward her, united, and put their hands on the taxi. Pressed in, harder and harder. Began to rock the cab back and forth. Hands, black, brown, white, grasped for Alexis through the open window. She reared back. The hands reached in. Faces wild in the window. Voices screaming. "Get out of here!" the driver shouted. "Goddamn kids! Goddamn kids!" He pressed the horn in frantic spasms. At last the light changed and the traffic cleared. The cab surged forward and away. When Alexis reached her appointment, only 5 minutes late after all, she asked to use the bathroom. She sat on the edge of the bathtub and wept silently and bitterly. Then she splashed her face with water and came out, calm. She didn't tell the Cowleys what had happened in Hell's Kitchen, outside the red brick building. She didn't tell her husband. And later, she didn't tell anyone about the dreams. Dreams of boys with glowing, angry faces, the hate, the fear, the rapture on those faces. It was the rapture that haunted her more than anything. Chapter 1. It was a day in mid-July. The city was sluggish and sulky with heat. The trees dripped grit onto the acrid, shimmering pavements as pedestrians moved silently and slowly down the avenues. The fruit on the vendors' stands looked dusty, the goods in shop windows dispirited. Steam rose clingingly from the gratings. Cab drivers screamed. Alexis was sitting in the courtyard of the Café des Artistes on the Upper West Side, waiting for an out-of-town client. She had come a few minutes early, as she disliked the flutter of being the last to arrive. The waiter had brought her a Perrier, and she drank it without enjoyment. She was feeling edgy and unwell, with a headache that jumped from her eyes to her temples. A brain tumor, or the need for reading glasses? She supposed she should see a doctor. The headaches had been becoming more frequent of late. A sudden, frantic pink appearance at the entrance to the restaurant announced Mrs. Gollancz. When she saw Alexis, she waved a plump hand in relief and hurried through the maze of tables toward her. "Oh, that stupid cab driver," she wailed. "I told him he shouldn't have gone through the park. Am I very late?" Alexis assured her that she wasn't. Mrs. Gollancz settled herself in the chair. She was large and middle-aged, dressed for a day out in New York. She had evidently just come from the beauty shop, and her face glowed with cosmetics. "This restaurant is supposed to be just absolutely wonderful," she told Alexis earnestly. "I'm so glad you suggested it." Café des Artistes was ordinarily one of Alexis's favorites, too. But today, as she looked around, the restaurant seemed over-loud and over-bright. The effect was oppressive, almost menacing. "Oh, God," she thought wearily. "What a mood I'm in." She put it down to the heat. All her life, heat had depressed her. She forced thoughts of other things. She imagined a cool, solitary beach, herself walking on wet, forgiving sand, a wind blowing her headache away. The waiter came over and took their order. Alexis ordered a salad, and Mrs. Gollancz, after a great deal of consultation, decided on the special of the day. Then, as the waiter was turning to go, she amended it to the orange roughy. Once the waiter had left, Mrs. Gollancz turned to Alexis with eager anxiety. "Now, Mrs. Donlevy," she burst forth in bright, fretful tones, "let's get down to business. We haven't really tackled the foyer yet." The beach went away.